The 3 Cents podcast is recorded on Australian soil, and we'd like to acknowledge the Turrbal people, the traditional custodians of the land in which we live on today, and pay our respects to their elders past and present.
Jumbo.
Baoni.
G'day, and welcome to another episode of 3 Cents.
My name is Sophie.
I'm Tyre.
And I'm Dara.
And we will be sharing 3 unique perspectives, insights, opinions, and keeping it spicy, right, girls?
That's right.
I actually saw something recently on Instagram that definitely left my jaw on the ground. A woman had actually sued her boyfriend for not proposing to her after 8 years together.
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
8 years.
She better sue.
And it got me thinking, I mean, is that dramatic or is she in the right to actually sue her boyfriend for 8 years of her life of, you know, not taking things to the next level? And it got me thinking about relationship milestones and how they're so different with different people. So today we actually invited one of our awesome long-term friends. His name is Nkem. Nkem, welcome to the 3 Senses podcast. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh shit. As Sophie said, my name is Nkem Awujo. A Nigerian. I was born in Port Harcourt, PH City, stand up. I'm in data analytics, working consulting, and I'm a happy go fellow.
Welcome, Nkem. Thank you for that introduction.
Nice.
I would love to know what you actually think about that. The woman who sued her boyfriend for 8 years of a relationship with no marriage.
You understand, see that particular situation, I would say within 8 years, you should have known where it was going to. You understand? You can't just wake up and say, okay, I'm suing you today. Conversations need to be had, because most times when, you get to that particular situation where someone wants to take legal action, do something dramatic, it means that you guys were just existing. You couldn't actually have conversations about where is this going to. 8 years. Between 8 years, somebody has finished bachelor's and a lot of things happen. You get what I'm saying? Bachelor and masters. And what were people doing? Are people just dating to date? And the girl should also, I feel, prior to the 8th year, if you're able to see the signs and know that, okay, this is not going anywhere, and pull out. I think a lot of, but just my opinion, I think a lot of females in some situations when they're in long-term relationships, they have the fear of pulling out. I've invested so much. Oh my gosh, how am I going to start again? Jesus.
Right. Females, you say?
Yes,
emphasis
definitely.
on the females.
Yeah, definitely. I do believe that, because I happen to have, a lot of female friends, and we have this kind of conversations, and you would notice that the ones that have been in relationships for long, they have the tendency to play down on red flags. Oh, you changed, we're working on it,
Interesting.
That's actually a good point that you raised.
So I feel she should have pulled, the plug way before 8 years. 8 years of your life is gone. And the truth is, the guy can still go out and marry, but the truth of the situation is that, let's say the girl was 21, she started dating, you're 29.
So the timeline.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes,
so
okay.
You're saying that girls expire a little bit faster.
Yes. Facts. Yeah. No, you have to understand that at 29, okay, let's say she's a female, she's in a career, there is the pool of men that you would choose from is going to be very limited. It's not any guy you're going to rule unless you're, bringing down your standards. You have to take that into consideration. So you have to be clear and demand. When I mean demand, not see after this day, if you don't marry, go to hell. It's but more like you need to carry yourself in a way that this guy knows that, man, if I do not make a move soon, this guy is out. Like she's gone, and she's not like she's giving you there's a way you present yourself in a relationship that someone will take you serious. You know, that I have to, you feel me? Yeah,
so you've put a lot of emphasis on, from what I'm saying, I hope I'm interpreting this correctly, you put a lot of emphasis on making sure that the woman knows when things need to happen. Because you do say that a lot, like, oh, you know, she should have done this or she should have done that.
Yeah.
But where's the accountability from the man in the relationship when it comes to those sorts of things?
So maybe I represented my points the wrong way. But what I meant to say is, it's not necessarily that the woman should say this, but you're in a relationship. You guys should be clear on that. And if she has, like, if you're dating someone and you've made it clear, okay, I intend to get married in this time, like, where are we going to? And he's not giving you an answer, move. It's simple, you understand? You know, it's simple.
Yeah.
So how early do you think she should have pulled out?
It depends. It depends on at what point did they meet? You know, at what point in, you know, their respective lives did they meet? You know, if she was
Based on age, do you
based
mean?
on age,
Okay.
you know, you have to be with relationships. You know, it's a very heartfelt, you know, how would they call it, interaction or
partnership.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to use your head. You have
Use your
to
brain.
sit down and think logically. Okay,
Yeah.
if I'm 23 and I'm dating this guy, 6 years in, no sign of marriage, come on. Come on, you understand? Like, and those conversations should be had. The guy should be the person actually pushing for it, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah, because if you push for it, two things. Either he just, maybe just seeing it as, you know, vibes. You get what I'm saying? And, you know, he doesn't see a wife in the girl, you know. And if she's not getting that clarity from him, you have the right to demand. Because it's not just him that's you're in the relationship, your time, you're investing time. Time can never be gotten back. You could lose money, you could, you
It's
understand?
more expensive with time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be direct. Uncomfortable conversations limit uncomfortable experiences. You understand?
So let me throw a spanner in the works for you and see if it changes your mind.
Okay.
I'll give you the full story.
Oh yeah.
So they actually have a child together. They have a child together, but obviously the relationship turned sour once they realized the guy is obviously not serious, he's not marrying her, and the lady actually says, and I quote, "He has never been serious. This is why I brought him to court, because I deserve to know the way forward and our future. He says he has not proposed because he did not have the financial security to pay for a wedding, and argued that she had not been a doting partner and had not given him enough attention." Does that change your mind, Nkem?
No. no, because first of all, let's be clear on one thing. That's a toxic relationship. You understand? That's a very toxic relationship. That's one. I feel this whole drama could have been avoided through proper communication. You know, I think it's very akin to the African society where if you're dating somebody for a period of time, you know, you guys have to get married. But you see here, like with Aussies, people can be partners for 30 years, 40 years. They don't see the need to get married.
Yeah.
That might be his orientation. You understand? He might want to live life like that. And she's waiting for, you know, a magical wedding, you know, dancing, money being sprayed, all those, you know.
the proper Nigel.
You get what I'm saying? You know, she might be looking out for that. Is she Nigerian? Sorry.
Zambian.
So
What's with the wow?
no.
And let me add another spanner. He's Zambian, and he did actually pay dowry to her family.
Oh.
As it is the tradition in the native Zambia for him to pay traditional dowry if he, you know, impregnates her. And
So he got her pregnant and he had to pay the dowry for that.
yeah, and it's similar in a lot of African cultures, even Kenyan culture. If you do impregnate the girl, you're gonna go and pay dowry to the family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Another wow. see, the guy is not serious and the girl is not serious. That's how I would say. You know, there could be other circumstances that could have caused this situation to become or to grow to what it, you know, eventually became. But with relationships, there has to be clarity between both parties. You know, you don't want to. 8 years is a lot of time. It's a lot of time. It could have been avoided. I honestly feel with communication, it could have been avoided. You know, and the responsibility falls on both the guy and the girl. Yeah, they were catching vibes, you know. That's how I see it.
Right. So, Nkem, what are your key relationship milestones? I mean, for example, for myself, it's about the dating for a couple of years, then getting engaged, then getting married, then having the kids, then the house, and so mine, I guess, is a bit more traditional. Do you have sort of a viewpoint on as to how you want to see your milestones go in your relationships?
You know, you have your traditional milestones, but at the same time, you have to be, you know, conscious enough to know how it suits you as an individual. True. Now, with my personality, one thing I cannot compromise on is being myself. And communication is key. I need to be able to talk to you about everything and anything. You have to be like my best friend. That is the biggest milestone. And that milestone is not that it gets to the point that, oh, you're my best friend. You know, it's continuous. You have to keep building at that. And as that progresses, you know, that creates a forum to have these conversations where we'll be like, okay, babe, what do you know, babe, like, I'm feeling this way, you know, like I think we should take this to the next level. It brings those barriers of, you know, oh, we are talking about marriage, and you know, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're my friend, if I trust you, I could be vulnerable with you and talk to you about where I am, and you could tell me where you're at. You
right.
know?
So you're happy to adjust it depending on.
Yes. Yeah. I don't like putting.
Yeah,
definitely. I don't put in those milestones. Yeah.
So I understand that, but so do you not have any sort of, given, you know, where you're at in your life, your career, your age, and things like that, do you not have any sort of rough time frame to when you want to achieve those milestones? So, like, if you were with somebody, roughly how long would it take for you to be, you know, looking at becoming engaged, or between the engagement time frame to marriage? Like, how long would you put towards that? In your idealistic world, for the woman that you are searching for, any potentials that are listening,
okay.
we'll find somewhere for you guys to submit your application.
Wow. I would say within 6 months of talking to you, I would know what I want.
So 6 months. 6 months.
Yeah, within 6 months, I would have a plan, but you have to take things as they come. Do you understand? I see marriage as the second most important decision in your life, and you do not want to just be like, okay, everything, let's just do it. You know, you want to really take your time, pray. Pray is very important. You want to take your time, pray, you know, just ease into it. You know, if you set timelines, fam, this is not Prince 2. It's not a you understand, it's not a, you know, risk intensive project that, oh, this has to be done by this time. But in saying that, you also have to consider the other person you're with. You know, if you're not moving ahead, let them know, because you don't want to waste the person's time. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. So I tend not to put timelines, you know, but to answer your question, I'll say within 6 months I know what I'm doing.
So within 6 months?
Within 6 months I'll have a plan. Okay, are we just talking, or, you know, am I actually looking to, is this like someone that has the potential for me to, you know, spend my life with, the rest of my life with? And you communicate that to them, you know, be like, babe, you know, either you make it public, then you introduce to family. I believe in, you know, in things being organic.
Right.
Do you get? Not, oh, babe, we are working towards our timeline. It's nearly June 9th. Like, you know, it's end of financial year. I have to submit paper. You know, like, you don't want stuff like that. So you want to, like, make it organic. You know, I appreciate things like that, because that way you just see things, blossom in a very beautiful way. And communication is key. It's very key. Like me telling you how I feel at every point in time, so that because I've seen a lot of girls be uncertain in their relationships even after a long time. They don't know where it's going to. They just know that the person is there.
Yeah.
But they might want something, and maybe they might have hinted at it, and the guy just shut it down, or creating that forum and that space, that comfortable space where we could have that conversation. You tell me, Nkem, look, I love you these days, but I want us to settle down this time. I would have to, I would have to take into consideration. I have to shift my timeline because I respect the fact that you came to meet me, to tell me, okay, this is what you're feeling. You get what I'm saying?
Within 6 months? So if the person came to you within 6 months and said, Nkem, this is what I want, I really want to get married in the next 2 years, blah, blah, blah.
Within the next 2 years?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like that's too nice. Of course, if you say 2 years, I feel like every guy would be like, "Oh, that's fine," because it feels like it's far away.
Not every guy.
I don't know. I personally don't know if that would work for me. I don't know. 2 years is actually quite a short period of time. So that means that we would have known each other. If you're saying, by 6 months you know this person, right? And you already know that you're going to spend the rest of your life with them. 2.5 years. I'm not trying to say that I wouldn't know if I want to marry you, but I wouldn't say that in 2.5 years I would actually be married with this person. I don't know.
Why's that?
I don't know. I feel like I kind of like to play things quite safe. Like I need to have a bit more time to just analyze the situation. Like, and also within that time frame, if there was any reason why I would be married to a person within 2.5 years, we definitely would have had to live together for quite a substantial time within, so for the majority of that time. I wouldn't say that I would be able to marry someone after 2.5 years and I haven't lived with you before. I don't think it's going to work.
That's, the beauty of your answer is the fact that you've considered yourself, and you've been conscious about that decision. This is what works for me. You understand? And that is what's important in making this decision. There's no template.
No.
There's a right way to do, to go about it, but you have to consider yourself. Like how is this going to work for me? Like what are things that would make me comfortable while making this decision? That will be okay. I'm making it with my chest and not based on pressure or a feeling or a timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key is organic.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what's up.
Okay.
I mean, we can say, let's be organic, but do you think sometimes culture as well sort of formulates how your relationship timeline goes? I mean, especially with our backgrounds as Nigerians, there's this unsaid timeline. I don't know if it's unsaid because I'm pretty sure my aunties and uncles will call me and say, but it's time.
They'll remind you.
It's time.
There's
so, do you think that cultural pressure or societal pressure sort of shapes how you view your relationship milestones?
For people, yeah, but for me, not really.
Oh, okay.
You understand? Like, I keep drawing back to one of the best decisions I've made in my life is to live alone. Do you understand? Within that time, I was able to construct what I want for my life.
Wow, yeah.
Uncle, aunties, whoever, you're not going to be with me in that relationship, in that marriage.
Amen.
So I have to make that decision with my chest. I need to know, okay, are you ready? Because, man, look, you're in your baby boy phase, you're traveling, you're doing all this. Once you get into a relationship, you have to consider the other person. Once you get into a marriage, kids are going to come. You have to prepare your mind to go into it. It's not like you stop living and but there's some realities you have to, confront and be like, ask yourself, are you ready for this? Do you understand? Are you really ready for this? Are you ready to spend the rest of your life with this person? You understand? And you have to look into the mirror and answer that question. And that's a personal, conversation. So obviously the place where societal influence, family would come in. I would say society because I couldn't care less. where family will come in is, my mom telling me, okay, this is what I think of this girl, or my dad telling me, because in as much as we are different people, these are individuals that love me. So they are telling me, okay, this is what I think. They're giving me their opinion. I would not, that their opinion is not law in my life. You get what I'm saying? But it's something I have to really consider.
Right.
Because based on the amount of time I spent on this earth, these people have shown to love me consistently. So I know that whatever they are saying is in my best interest. So that is, the only influence that could affect my decision. If I'm making sense.
Yeah. Maybe it differs between like genders, because it sounds like what you're saying, Nkem, from I guess from a male's perspective, culture doesn't really have much of an influence on your relationship milestones. But I know for a fact that there are like some Nigerian girls that, especially if they're a little bit older, they definitely do get that pressure from family back home. Like if when you go and visit, like, oh, why aren't you married? Like, why haven't you done this, when this person might have been focusing on like their career or something like that instead of relationships. I don't know, girls, what do you think? Sophie, do you feel like it maybe differs
in terms of gender?
Yeah, like as to whether that cultural influence or like has a real impact on your relationship milestones.
I think it does have an impact on both sides in terms of gender and culture. Like Nkem said, your family, people around you who have loved you consistently, yes, they do have the best interest in you. And a lot of the times you do get pressure, and it can influence decisions that you make, whether that's getting married faster or later or to a certain person. It all does influence it. And on the gender side, from what I've observed, I do feel like there is a lot more pressure on females. And if we're being honest, we do get given a timeline by society and even with our own biological makeup to a certain extent. I'm not speaking for everyone, but we've seen it. So maybe we do feel that pressure when we get into a certain age that I should be getting married by this time because I want to have kids by this time, and I need to be married before I have kids and all this kind of stuff. Or I need to be in a relation. I need to get married by this age, and I don't even have a relationship yet. So yeah, the pressure is there because I feel like the timeline is a little heavier on females. Yeah, but at the same time, I 100% agree that it is such a personal thing. So yes, those things are there to influence, but I think the final decision needs to come from you and what you want. It's not a must that you do actually, get married because you're at the age of being married, or, date this type of person because your parents must have you date this type of person. Because like Nkem said, your parents and society will not be inside your marriage. It's you. So it's such a personal thing. If you need to take 3 years or 9 years before you're happy to be married by someone, that is such a personal thing. It's your marriage. And if someone else can only take 6 months and they're like, okay, this is my person, I'm going for it, that's their marriage. There's no right or wrong. It's such a personal thing. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it is definitely a personal thing. But I mean, I guess when you started talking, it just gave me a flashback of the text message I got from my grandma about 2 years ago. So I made the mistake of telling my grandma, because she was like, when are you going to get married? And she kept asking me. And I was like, grandma, maybe in like 2 years' time. So exactly 2 years later, my grandma texted me and said, remember what you promised me? You said you were going to be married by today. Yeah. So what's happening? So I think for sure us females do get a lot more heat, and I think a lot of people are a lot more worried for us. And I definitely think it's a cultural thing as well. I think they also want to celebrate you, and to them it's a celebration and it's a big deal. And I feel like for some family members it's even bigger than like graduating. Obviously they want you to study, but they're like, okay, that's nice. Now where's the main course, basically? Like where's the main event, which to them is marriage? Because I think some of it I think is they just want a big celebration and all of that. But I think a part of it as well is that culturally they had a lot more pressure to get married a lot younger. So as like, I'm a 29-year-old, so I think for a lot of people in Nigeria that maybe aren't as, in the same age frame right now and they're a bit older, I think to them it's almost unnatural that I'm still floating around without a ring.
Like they would be like panicking, like, oh, like what's going on? Like, why? What's been hindering you from making that step? Like,
exactly. Because I've got cousins who got married at 22, 23. Like, I was a bridesmaid for one of them. You know what I mean? So they're just like, well, to them, they just see me as like, you're fully grown. What's the problem? But yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely a conversation you have to have with your partner. I mean, there are two people in the relationship. So you both have to be comfortable and really go through that process. But yeah.
And that's what matters. If people are comfortable. Because the thing I'm not in a relationship, so I can't really say.
Single. Hashtag single.
But
you can slide into his DMs now.
It is. The thing I fail to understand is why people seem to have an opinion about, other people's relationship. Their relationships. I mean, like, why would I get what my grandma would call me and say, Nkem, what's happening? Sometimes I see it as you just want to talk. Do you understand? Like, you're trying to catch up and you just want to talk about it. And I'm telling you, I'm just giving you, informing you. If it's family, I get that, but we are just having a conversation. You're not influencing my decision. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't say, you can express concern, but it's, like I said, it's your opinion. At the end of the day, it's what works between me and my partner. That's law. All you're saying, you're just giving opinion. And if you talk too much, you understand, like, the second to the last option on your call is to block somebody. I think it's the last one, like, block the person. No, for real now, because you have to think about your mental health, you have to think about mental health, that pressure. And it's real, with girls, especially from a biological standpoint, you have to think about that. But the whole facade around, you have to get married, you have to, come on, man. I've seen too many. We all have seen too many relationships that started that ended quickly. Ended as
because
quickly
of that pressure.
You get what I'm saying? So
that's true.
You have to be intentional, very intentional. Because I always think about it like this: if you studied 5 years to be a lawyer, I'm not saying that you have to take 5 years to know that you're married, but I like to think that your marriage is. Marriage as a whole, as an institution, especially you getting into it, carries even much like a greater importance than your career. If you took your career that serious, if you took that time to think about it, and it was a personal decision, why should you just rush into marriage? You get what I'm saying?
Good point.
Look at doctors, look at people that ended their specific, occupations. They take time. Even entering into a partnership. There's a legal agreement and everything is, how is it constructed between the parties involved? Do you get what I'm saying? It's not an IPO. Your marriage is not an IPO that you have to announce it and say, okay, what do you guys think? This is the share offering, Sorry I'm bringing finance into it. It's just that people a lot of people allow other people's opinion to, influence their reality in their relationship, and it's wrong, so. Yeah.
And a part of it you can kind of understand. I mean, if it's your family and they're trying to, look out for you in a certain way, it can come off a little toxic sometimes, but sometimes it's out of love. But you should definitely, that's where boundaries come in.
Yes.
Boundaries have to be there.
Yes.
But why sometimes they want to add their two cents to...
Or 3 cents.
Or 3 cents.
Nice one. With that one, there has to be a level of mutual respect. Like, I'm the last child, and my mom has like huge respect for my decision and my opinion.
As the baby.
I don't even know what to tell you right now. See, that baby thing is a scam. I'm telling you the truth.
What baby?
Baby of the house is a scam. That would be a topic for another day. It's a scam because I have lots of stories to tell. But like she has a healthy, like we have a healthy, respect for each other's opinion, and she knows that she'll tell me some things, and I'll tell her why I disagree with it or why I think otherwise, and she'll respect it, and that gives me the space to, make my decision. I know it's not the same with, a whole lot of other people and, their families. They'll be like, hey, I need my grandchild. Oh, Jesus, hey. Hey, all those kind of, dramatic individuals. But you just have to. Happiness, I know I'm diverted, but you need to be happy with yourself, first of all. And when you express that and your family sees that, that anybody that is coming has to make an improvement. So there's a different approach they come when they're advising you, in regards to relationship. It's not like in Nkem, you need this to, be complete as a man, but it's more of, to add to you as an individual. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you make sense.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So I know that we talked quite a bit about marriage and things like that, but I want to understand from your perspective, when you're in the dating stage, say you've been dating someone for about 6 months, right? What are some things that you feel you'd be comfortable to disclose to the person that you're dating at that point in time? So, for example, would you feel like it's appropriate for you to disclose how much you earn?
See, if you ask me, I'll tell you.
Within 6 months?
Within 2 months. Within 1 month.
Oh, okay.
First date,
I think you would disclose it because you're making good money, no? Like, I feel like if you had, if you weren't making that much money, would you just be a little bit more awkward about that? Or
it's like, I'm surviving. That's what you're doing. Basically.
I can afford our dinner, so don't ask me so many questions.
Wow, so you're an open book, Nkem.
Yeah,
good.
See, I'll tell you, because this money issue, it can be a big thing if you allow it to be.
Oh yeah.
You understand? And I think as a guy, you need to take charge of that situation.
Okay.
When you shine, a light on a certain topic or any uncomfortable situation, it brings clarity, so everybody knows where they stand. I'll tell you how much I'm making, so that you know the kind of request you make. You get what I'm saying?
If a G-Wagon is possible for our anniversary or not?
Exactly. And I can tell you that you're a criminal for requesting that. So I'll tell you. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Okay. And what about meeting the parents?
That's a spicy one.
Yeah, like
remember. Yeah.
What do you remember? Huh?
Well, no, remember, it's within, you're 6 months into dating, right?
Why are we using 6 months?
No, it's just, the getting to know each other phase.
Okay.
Some people, as you said, you'd be an open book, you would tell someone about your finances within 2 months. So, meeting parents is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Or what stage would you be comfortable meeting parents for yourself?
Our stage, I can't put the timeline on it. It all depends on how I'm feeling.
Okay, but what about in a perfect world?
In a perfect world, the way I think is very different though. It's not that within 6 months I should have met your parents and I should have paid that. No, it's at what stage are we?
Okay, so would you be comfortable if someone was like, okay, we've been dating for a month or two, and I really want you to be my parents? Would you be comfortable to do that?
No.
Oh, so there is a time frame.
No, 1-2 months. Let's be real. Even with companies, how long is probation? You understand? It's 6 months. 6 months. So, come on now. Me meeting your parents within 2 months. Come on. Let's be serious.
So it's a no.
Okay. What about moving in?
Moving in now. You see, as a guy, I approach this from a financial perspective. How much are we saving moving in?
Wow. For
real, like if you think about that.
So it's a transaction.
That one, no. I'm telling you different things I'll consider. How much?
So there's no feelings involved. Are you gonna make my rent cheaper or not?
No, come on, no. It's how. See, by the time you're moving in, it's clear that we are an item. Like, it's not about what I feel or what you feel. We are one. We have established that, if I'm living with you, we are making future plans of buying a house, settling down. For me to allow you to come into my space, I'm marrying you.
Really?
It's on the card. It's definitely on the plate. definitely. Why are you coming to live with me? I love my space. Do you get what I'm saying? So it means that action means, okay, I'm comfortable with you, and I've seen that I'm adding value to your life, you're adding value to my life, and both of us living together is going to be, you're taking care of the excesses, I'm taking care of the excesses in your life, because you can't come into my life and my quality of life reduces. You get what I'm saying? It's facts. Because I am honestly I'm having a blast living on my own. for real. So I'm tired. I'm having a blast living on my own. So if you're coming to live with me, like, that's a big step. And how long will it take? To be honest with you, that one is really, it's crazy. Do you know why it's crazy? Because I think I would be one more. Once you move in, after a while, I'm okay to see your parents, definitely.
So move in, then see the parents.
Yeah. Within a couple of months, I should be. For me to be living with you, and our address is the same for bank details, everything.
All the bills, everything.
Come on. I should see your
bank
parents,
account.
And see, it's not
bank account.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like shared accounts, like all these things. I don't see them as in, it's not an issue. It's only an issue if the girl is not bringing anything to the table. Facts. If you're not, first of all, if you're not working, we cannot be talking. But facts, let's put it out there. If you're
the ladies, do not contact
Please
Mr.
do not.
Nkem if you
don't.
do not have a job.
We'll put the full description of the requirements.
Yeah. And see, it's not just having a job. There's a certain level of, I won't say respect, but when someone has an economic value to society, there are conversations you can have with them, and they will give you understand, like an answer, like an intelligible answer. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There are things you could discuss, and you would need their inputs. But when you're a slay queen, it's just about, let's get this, let's get this.
Slay
For
queen.
real, if you're just about, you don't really, you're not serious about your life, I'm very traditional with that.
So guys, we have a spicy segment for you. We're going to ask 3 scenarios, and Nkem needs to answer it truthfully. Okay? So, Tayo, hit us with the first scenario.
Okay. Scenario 1. So, you're dating a person that you're really, really in love with. Like, this is the one, right?
Okay.
But the parents of the person that you're dating don't want you both to get married. Mm-hmm. So they're not for it, they're against it.
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
You have to let it go. Let it go. Go maybe to an island, cry. No, take out time. You have to express your emotions. Cry,
What, so you would just dump the girl?
See, once you get married to someone, you get married to your family. If your family is not accepting you, you are in for hell.
Right.
It's fact. And I'm saving myself from future sorrow. So I'll just take the sorrow down with my chest, cry a bit. Maybe a day or two. Move on.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Sophie, what would you do in that situation?
Convince the parents.
I'd want to know what it is that they don't, like about me, that they don't want us to get married. I think that would determine what I do.
So you'd want to try and work on that, like you wouldn't give up easily.
Not even, because if it's someone that I want to marry, that's someone that I really love. It's not fickle enough for me to just be like, your parents don't like, okay, goodbye.
Right.
I'd want to know the reason,
But like, I believe the premise of the question is like they have decided, look, you are not marrying, because when the parents say you are not marrying my daughter, it's not about, sometimes they don't just like you. And you have asked the question, is there anything I can do, like what is it? Maybe they don't like your beards. These are things you can change, but they don't like the fact you're Nigerian. How will you change it? Do you understand?
Then if that's the reason, then I'm sorry, that's not something I can change, but I will still marry your son.
Oh, okay,
that's
girl.
how God made me. Apologies.
Love me one day.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, Nah, you wish I had answered that question. It's making me to rethink my answer. But wait, let's wait. Hold up. No. I have to submit another answer.
We've gotten to the point where we're actually about to get married, and I'm about to turn around because you don't like the way I look.
No, not okay. Let's.
Or where I'm from.
If the parents do not like you, like if they are not in support of that marriage, I need to see. There are things you need to consider. How is it going to affect the mental health and well-being of your partner and the relationship? You have to look at it. If you was close with her parents and it was lovely before you came in, and now, okay, you guys are in love, but it's affecting the relationship she has with her parents. Man, honestly, I'll pray about it and I just act based on, because I don't want, because down the line, if you guys ever hit any rock,
which you will,
which you very much will, it's very normal, and I wouldn't begrudge my partner if they were to think my parents told me to avoid this person, because they would think about it. If that relationship they had with their parents was good, everything was working fine, you came in and now they're not talking with their parents, come on.
You feel good.
My introduction into any girl's life shouldn't bring division, she brings celebration.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Okay.
Interesting. So the girl that you're interested in lives in a whole other country.
Okay.
And you've only met her once in person.
All right.
She wants to get married in the next month after talking to you for a year. What are you going to do?
We'll have a conversation. We'll have a conversation and to determine the feasibility of that action. That month, that timeline. When somebody says I want to get married in 2 months, 3 months, come on, let's talk. Then we'll make a plan.
Okay, but you've had the conversation, and this is the conversation.
And we've met once.
And you've met once, and the conversation is, hey, Nkem, I want to get married, even though we've met once, but we've been speaking for over a year.
Yeah.
Like, come on, boo, let's get married. So what are you going to say?
Some things need to have happened before she could make that statement. Do you understand? Like, I should have met your parents before it could be like, okay, let's get married in next year. Before we have that conversation. Do you get what I'm saying?
So that's your condition.
Yeah, like, man.
It's just like, okay, we can just bring my parents to the wedding, then you'll meet them then.
Yeah.
Before the
Happy
wedding, just the day
family.
before the wedding.
No, that's not happening. That's not happening. And we after meeting once, nah, that's not me. That's not me. You invest in things you see a future in. If you're dating for 1 year and I've met once, and after I meet you that once, I'm like, man, I'll be planning to either move to your side or we move. Like, nah. Meeting once is not enough. If we met once and it was amazing and we vibe, man, I'll be making plans, applying for jobs in that area or relocating. It's if we meet once and after 6 months you now come, it means I'm not serious with you.
Okay, and Tayo, what do you think?
I would probably see that as a red flag. Actually, I probably would see that as a red flag. I just think, like I was saying initially, even 2.5 years, I wouldn't say that I'd be married to somebody within 2.5 years. So a year, you're really pushing it. And if you're coming to me, we're meeting once, and then you're coming to me saying, I want us to get married like next month, that's a red flag, baby. Yeah. Like, why? What's the rush?
You get what I'm saying? After meeting once, you want to get married. Come on, who's your dealer?
It's a no from me.
Who's your dealer?
Exactly, when you're smoking something.
Okay, so last scenario is you find out that the girl you like has a month to remain in the same country as you, so I guess Australia. And the only way for you guys to stay together is to get married. So what do? Do you let her fly out or do you get married? And when I say you like this girl, I mean like this is the person that you want to be with.
Spicy.
1 month, it's ticking.
The way you give these scenarios, I actually try to put myself in the scenario and say, okay, what would you man do?
Good.
Yes.
And I'll see how I feel about it. You understand? Like, if I feel you're the one, we won't get married. We will just go to the court and you'll stay. But we allow things grow organically, but you're definitely going to stay.
So you'll go to the court and get married, just technical marriage, but you won't do like a ceremony
definitely.
type thing.
So that they can stay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty giving. I'd be like, see ya.
Yeah.
No, no.
Nice knowing ya.
We are working under the premise that
You're in love.
You get what I'm saying? We're in love, and I know that this baby's the one you get. I think that's what I'll do. If I just like you understand? There's FaceTime.
There's FaceTime. No, I think even if I was in love with someone, I think that would just give me a panic attack.
Just that, like,
it's a legal pressure. Thing, and it's like there's nothing I mean, you can have a divorce, but come on, like,
who wants
I don't want to do that.
No, see the thing here, like, if you guys are already working towards that, and it happened that she was applying and it did not come true, like, to be honest with you, if I'm being real, you rarely see me in that situation. You have 1 month to go. We would have made plans before then. It won't get up to 1 month.
Okay.
Because I would know that you have to be forward thinking. You have to confront things.
Yeah, I mean, I work in migration law and stuff like this happens. So let's say it's something you couldn't have planned. It's like a visa cancellation. Like the department's like, girl, get out of this country. You've got a month. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know you're saying you wouldn't put yourself in that situation, but there are times where clients have to disappear. Either get married or disappear.
It depends on how far we've gone.
How far you've gone in the relationship.
In the relationship, yeah. Like, if you're at the point where we've spoken to parents, you're staying in the country. Definitely, I'm not letting you go. But if you're just talking, I'll be like, what's nice.
Bye. So you'll take them to the airport.
Take them to the airport, we all go. You guys go to a Thai restaurant, eat it out.
Yeah, I think it depends with if this actually is the person for you or not. If it's someone that you're just seeing, like, I agree with you, Nkem. If it's someone that you're just seeing and you're not really, you don't see them in your future like that.
Exactly.
Then bye, see you later. But if it's someone that you're actually in love with, of course.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Make the plans that you need to make. And I agree. I wouldn't let it get to 1 month.
Definitely, it seems like we do have quite, a few differences within just ourselves and our relationship milestones, which is interesting to hear. And I can definitely see that. I think it also does, like, there is the cultural aspect that has an influence on it. Your gender as well has an influence on those relationship milestones. So it's been really, really interesting conversation.
Yes,
so
it has.
thank you, Mr. Wuji, aka Nkem, for
the other way around.
Nkem.
For joining us on this episode. We really appreciate your input, and I think it was really good to get a guy's perspective on this.
It's been a pleasure, sitting with the 3 senses, and the word milestones in relationships should not be there. It should be organic, and those milestones you would know when you get there. If you put dates, it means that someone is not communicating. There should be ongoing feedback loop where you should do like health check your relationship. I don't know that people do that. Like the last time I was in a relationship, I remember I'd be like, how do you feel? You understand? Like, where do you think we're at? Where do you want to be? Ask these questions if you really care about this person, because when a girl has security, man, you see the best of her. You see the best from her. When she has that security in the fact that, okay, this guy, me and him are singing from the same hymn, you're going to see the best from her. Once there's that insecurity, you're not going to, your life will not be happy. You understand? So, it's been a pleasure. It is what it is. Wuji out.
Wuji out.
Wuji out.
And that's our 3 cents. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to give us your thoughts on today's topic on our Instagram page, 3cents.podcast.
Signing out, it's Dara,
Sophie,
and Tayo.